everyone. Welcome to another edition of What Do You Need to Know to Move to Costa Rica? I'm Patrick Jager, alongside, as always, Aaron Bailey.
Hello, Patrick.
Hello, Aaron. How are you today? Where are you today?
I'm in San Jose at home. It's a beautiful day in the rainy season. It rained a little bit earlier, and
Nice.
Now it's not. Yes.
Nice.
I'm excited about our topic today.
Topic today is a good one. It is Costa Rica versus Portugal.
Not the football match, but whether you should move to Costa Rica or to Portugal. Why you might want to consider one over the other.
I have so many friends that are either considering or have chosen to move to Portugal right now. I have so many people I know.
It's
crazy
the
how
trendy
many
thing. It's the it country right now. Yes, everyone's talking Portugal.
Yeah. So let's talk Portugal. All right. For full disclosure, I love both countries. I personally have traveled to Portugal a lot. Like going there, I couldn't see myself living there. You have not been there.
I've never been to Portugal. I would love to go to Portugal, but it's never been on my list, high on my list. Like so many other people, so many friends who have considered moving to Portugal, I thought I looked through it, but decided it wasn't for me, even without a visit.
Yeah, I think, it's people get like that same laid back vibe. I think part of it is, do you want to live in Europe or do you want to live in the jungle? Like it really kind of blends down to that. And that really leads to what are the most important things? What are you wanting out of moving? What is the expat DNA that you're looking for? That really will help you figure out, be it Costa Rica, Portugal, Mexico, Sweden, Thailand. Like there's so many places that attract expats. But we hear a lot Costa Rica versus Portugal, thus this video.
Yes. So we're going to go through it. What's the top kind of category of Costa Rica and Portugal, and why someone would want to move to one or the other?
Personally, I think it's location. Interestingly, I don't have any empirical data on this. This is kind of just my theory, personal theory, is that the west of the Mississippi, more people want to move to Costa Rica. East of the Mississippi, more people want to move to Panama because I think the proximity to Europe gets closer. Again, I don't know that statistically, but like all my friends, like other than one couple I know in Texas, everyone else I know in Texas that is moving south, not
interesting.
Europe. But like my East Coast friends, almost all of them, except for two sets from New Jersey, everyone else is only thinking of Portugal. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I do think, like, when I ask my friends that are moving to Portugal, it's like ease to travel Europe. I want to be in Portugal because it's the place that expats move to. And once I'm there, I can travel easily through Europe, especially once I have my residency. So I think that's the argument for Portugal for so many. And I'm sure that's very simplistic. And the argument here is jungle and beaches and surfing.
But the flip side is that Portugal is a very different time zone. And if you're still working, that's going to be a problem. You're going to have to, if you're still working normal 9 to 5 hours and need to have meetings with your American or Canadian counterparts, then Portugal is going to be really difficult. Costa Rica, central time zone, and not a problem.
No, and I think that's a great point. And I think too, like, who do you need to get to? So when you think about location and proximity, how often do you have to come back to the States? Where are you flying back from the States? Like, to your point, if you're East Coast, it's a lot faster probably to get to, from Portugal than it is to get from Costa Rica if you live in New York. I don't know that for sure. There are a lot of things that are very similar. Size is relatively similar. Kind of that sense of laid back culture is similar. But of the ones we've compared Mexico, we've compared Panama. We're going to do a few others after this. But to me, these are Costa Rica and Portugal to me is very apples oranges. Like
Yeah.
there's not
Right.
a lot of similarity there. Like if you want culture, hands down Portugal. If you want
Yeah.
food, probably Portugal because it's part of an international scene. You have Spain right next door.
Yeah.
Um, if you want infrastructure, clearly Portugal.
Yeah.
If you want natural beauty, Portugal is relatively arid.
Hmm.
And I liken Portugal a lot to the same things I feel when I'm in Greece. It's a lot of rock. It's a
Hmm.
lot of,
Hmm.
like I
It's
moved to
not
Costa
lush.
Rica. No, I moved to Costa Rica because the natural topography and beauty. I mean, everywhere
Yeah.
you look is a volcano or a stunning hill or a
Yeah.
beautiful river with a waterfall. And yes, maybe that's trite, but it's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know. I don't know really even how to compare these. Climate, vastly different.
Yeah.
Vastly
Right.
different. It is much drier and much more arid there. It's cold in the winter. It's very warm in the summer. They have, this last few years, they've had a lot of problems with fire and drought. Um,
Yep.
Knock on wood, those are two things we don't have issues with in the same way here. But
Right.
again, if what you want is to be able to explore, Ecuador and Colombia and stuff, like this is where you want to live. If what you
Right.
want is access to the Western Hemisphere, duh. If what you want is access to Europe, duh.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Completely different worlds. What about cost of living? What do you think?
Well, for in the EU, I would think that Portugal is relatively expensive for in the EU because like us, it's a spoke. It's not a hub. It is at the very end of the trading area. There's not a lot of cross trade because it is an in destination point within Europe. So I would think that it is more expensive. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. Um, I, we are expensive here, but we're not European expensive. So I don't know. I think even then it's apples to oranges.
Right. Right. And it
The
depends on what you're buying. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the same thing that the draw of the ocean and the outdoors is true for people that live on the coast of Portugal too. And if
Right.
you want wineries or you want olive olive oil, Portugal, you're not going
Yeah.
to get that here. So even quality of life I think is very equal but different. The one comparison I'll give you is the comparison of our ranking system. So the Internations ranking for expats, and this is of all the countries that expats go to, and their rankings go down into the, excuse me, in the 50s or 60s, I believe. Costa Rica is ranked number 7, and Portugal is ranked number 10.
Hmm.
So we're similar, but Costa Rica is a more of a hub or a destination for expats.
I wonder if that's going to change based on the buzz that Portugal has been getting the last 2 years.
Well,
If those,
this is a 2023 ranking.
yeah, but those lag a little bit,
That's true.
so you never know.
No,
But they're
that's
about the
true.
same. They're probably about the same. But
Yeah.
what they're not the same at is the World Happiness Ranking in 2023. Vastly different, right?
Yeah.
Costa Rica is 16th, as we've said in other videos.
Yep.
One of the top countries in the Americas, if not the top country in the Americas, for happiness. We love happiness. What is Portugal?
It's almost 60. I think it's 57.
Wow.
So, yeah. And, I don't know. I don't want to extrapolate too much from that because I don't know. But, people there's a blue zone in Costa Rica. People live longer. I think people have a view of life in Costa Rica that is less, that it's more like I'm okay with what I have. I think that you learn to live into the topography, the weather, the pace, And I think that makes people happier.
Yeah. I think that sums up in my mind the difference between Costa Rica and Portugal. If you want access to nature, to beautiful beaches, to jungles, to a very simple quality of life, a very chill life, Costa Rica by far. If you want access to Europe, move to Portugal.
Yeah. I will say there's a nuance there. Like, I have friends that live in small little ocean, beachside towns a couple hours outside of Lisbon, and I think they have an incredibly idyllic life, but it's a European life. And that's with all the pros and cons of a European life. We live a life where there are not really trades. The handyman that does your plumbing, does your electrical, paints your fence, and maybe even cleans your pool. You just kind of go with that flow. And if you're cool with that and that's the adventure you want, then yeah, I agree with you. It's Costa Rica. And if you want the more, I don't even know the right word. If you want the more European, for lack of a better term, way of life, Portugal. They're both amazing. And they both are clearly popular with expats. Portugal's expat community is just off the charts right now. It's so many people. We don't have that type of ebb and flow. Ours is very consistent.
Yeah. I also think that, from what I heard, that Portugal is starting to tighten their restrictions on who can get residency. So the time to move to Portugal might have been last year. So that might also play into your decision making. Costa Rica is still really, really easy to get residency. And so consider that.
I think it's important for us to say we are not experts on Portugal. So again, anything that we said that you disagree with us. Put it in the comments. Let us correct ourselves. We want to hear from you. If you're thinking Portugal, you're not thinking Costa Rica, or you've gone to both to explore and you're like, definitely Portugal, please let us know why. Put it in the comments, send us an email. This is really important to us. We do believe in Costa Rica. We help people move here and thrive here, but we know that this isn't the only place. So we'd love to hear from you. How do they get a hold of us?
Shoot us an email. Hola, HOLA @yourpuravida.com. Both Patrick and I get those messages, and we would love to have a conversation with you via email, and possibly even hop on Zoom. You can find so many of our blog posts and resources that we've done on our website, yourpuravida.com/links. Like and subscribe to this video for future content. We're posting videos quite frequently about life moving to and living in Costa Rica. Would love for you to join our community. As Patrick said, shoot us a comment in this video. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And until next time, we hope you're well. And as always, Pura Vida.
Pura Vida.